How's it going, guys? My name is AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short, and I'm back with another video. I have a question for you. What are you stressing over? Or maybe a better way of phrasing it would be, what makes you worry? And the reason why I want to phrase that question differently is because I think that stress, there's two types of stress. There's like the adrenaline, the people cheering you on in a stadium, setting goals for yourself and putting time limits, there's that kind of stress. That's like a good kind of stress. But then there's another kind where it's more like this anxiety, worry, fear almost kind of stress. And so like this kind of like, it's good, there's good stress, then there's also the bad stress. During certain parts of the year, I notice when I walk outside and I go and talk to people or try to interact with others, they're very on edge, they're very worried, very stressed out. And if maybe I say the wrong thing, or I'm just happen to walk in at the wrong time, people kind of just they might snap at you. In my mind, sometimes I think to myself I wonder why they're so downcast. Why are they so upset? But then I have to think about it. Wait, hold on, pause. Everyone has stresses. Everyone has different things they worry about. And for me, the things that might stress me out are different from the things that might stress other people out. And I used to really worry a lot about things like fitting in or being cool. I used to worry about how I'd get rides back home from school, or I'd worry about girls. It's funny. Obviously, worrying about things does not make them better, because I worried about girls, didn't help. So there's a free one for you. But nowadays, it's funny because sometimes people actually ask me why I don't stress, or why I'm not stressed or worried. Actually, they don't really ask that often, but I think about it. Whenever I see other people that are stressed, I wonder to myself, why am I not stressed? Especially during finals week or midterm season. It was more so really just a gradual, just little by little over time. My mindset about a lot of things changed, and my perspective on the world around me and how I respond to things, just piece by piece, started to change a lot throughout high school. And it probably started when one of my friends released a song. He wrote a whole mixtape, but one of the songs on it, at the end of it, he quotes this Bible verse. And so I thought it was interesting. I went, checked my Bible to see what that verse said. So I go and I read it, and it's part of this section of this group of verses that's Jesus talking to a bunch of people about worry. He says, look at the birds and how they don't plant things in the ground, they don't farm, but they're still fed, they're still taken care of. God up in heaven, he still takes care of the birds. Now what about you? You're way more important to him than birds are. So obviously he's going to take care of you, so why are you worrying? And then he says this phrase that I think is so incredible. He says, can you add even 1 hour to your life by worrying? And if you think about it, he's right. Our internal worries about something don't actually change its outcome, or don't actually change things about it. It just causes us to be more upset. But telling someone to just not stress or not worry, that's a lot easier said than done. I think about whenever something goes wrong, or things aren't going the way that I want them to, I have two choices. I can either stress out about it and worry, or I can think about those birds and how God takes care of them, and know okay, well God will take care of me too. And I can stress out, or I can have rest. I can stress out or rest out, I guess you could say. And it's not that easy. It's not that simple. It's not simply as flipping a switch and suddenly you don't worry anymore. But over time, this idea just kept coming back. As I kind of just read the Bible more, and I had more situations come up in my life, I just realized wow, you know, like this idea, I kept being brought back to this idea of God taking care of me and not worrying, as well as other things like learning to work hard and plan well and get good advice and all of those different things, and all of it culminating into kind of this idea of, instead of being stressed and worried and like letting that paralyze me, it was more so like, wait, I have rest, I can make plans, and I can go for it and actually like try and make a difference and make something happen of this situation. And that was definitely life-changing. One verse that really helped me with this idea was one that I forget exactly the numbering for it, but I have it written down over here, but I'm trying not to look away too much from the camera. It basically says, turn over all of your worries to him, because he cares about you. Ouch. Sorry, my throat. And so, you know, something that I used to do was I'd get up really early. I'm talking like 4 o'clock early, and I'd make a cup of tea and I'd sit down on the kitchen counter and I'd kind of just talk to God about my problems, my emotions, and like everything that was going on in life. And there's kind of like this mixture of like, it's not just a why I don't stress, but it's more so a how I manage my stress. And so like one of the things that I did was just talking about it. And so like I would talk to God about stuff going on in my life, but I'd also talk to my friends. Like I remember like my best friend, like I could call her like at any time and she'd be willing to listen to me and like not judge me for things that like I might be doing wrong or whatever, but just to listen and even to give me good advice on what to do about those situations. And another thing that I would do is like I would just continually fill myself with things that gave me peace. You know, like I would make sure that like I was actually doing things. I would make plans for things. I wouldn't just like lay back and Hakuna Matata my way through high school, because that doesn't work. You know, I would actually make a plan, have a strategy on how I want to go about things, but then I'd have to be okay with things not going according to that plan too. And like when things don't go according to plan, it's kind of like, wait a second, I could stress out or I could rest out and just know that it's all going to work out, you know? Stress out or rest out, 'cause it's all going to work out. That's a quote right there. I think that what it comes down to is that we as individuals, we get to decide what our lives look like. Like we decide what we watch, like we decide like who our friends are, what we listen to, you know, what's on the walls of our rooms. Being able to not worry and not stressing out about things is something that like I legitimately want in my life. And so some of it was purposeful, some of it was kind of like subconscious things that like I did. It's not a matter of just powering through and pushing through, but it was more so learning that I could count on people, that I could count on God and count on my friends. And once I was able to do that, and once I was able to realize that in my little everyday situations and even the big situations, it was like, man, I think that right there, the fact that I can count on God, the fact that I can count on people, that's why I don't worry. And that's how I manage my stress. Those are my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them. Ow, my throat. I didn't drink water while I was recording this. Sorry if the audio quality isn't as good as it usually is. I'm figuring out my setup for this particular room. I'm probably recording in a lot. Plug of the week. I was actually somewhat inspired to make this video by another channel by a girl named Becca. Her channel is called Faraway Distance. There's an iCard to it right there? Or is it there? I think it's there. It's there. I hope that I kind of communicated my ideas in this video well. I know it's kind of like a little bit of a jumbled kind of thing, but who knows? I figured it just had to happen. So I don't know if this was a rant or if this was an actually well thought out and planned video. I actually have notes of what I wanted to say, but I don't know if I followed them pretty well. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Video question: how do you manage your stress? I know a lot of people have different mechanisms and whatnot that they use to, you know, and do all the things and the 5 steps to, you know what I mean. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below. My name is AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short, and I will see you guys next time. Ouch. My throat.